Gauntlet in Diablo 4, the new leaderboard. Let's look at the good first, which at the same time is also the bad, because there's an interesting new mechanic in the leaderboard, and that are these shrines that give you double points and that respawn everything. Especially, I like the respawn everything because you can murder whatever is on the map and then just click the shrine and get all the bosses back to kill them again. Now, these shrines are amazing, but at the same time, the greatest problem for the leaderboard, because it is not about who has the most Uber uniques. Don't get me wrong, Uber uniques are fantastic as well. The most important stat, the most important thing to have right now is shrine buff duration. If you don't have shrine buff duration on your amulet or your boots, you might not even participate in the leaderboard at all, because you're simply fighting against people that have the double point shrine, or even the blast wave and the artillery shrine 30 to 40% longer. Yes, 40% longer is possible. So tell me, how are you going to compete versus that if you don't have it? Since most damage you deal in the leaderboard right now is killing the dude who gives you the artillery shrine, and then making sure, due to reviving things, the artillery and the blast wave is up as long as possible. And you're there with your cool Uber uniques and you're doing millions of damage, but congratulations, what use is that if there's so much more damage by proxy? If your actual build doesn't matter, your actual build just gotta move fast and attack fast. The rest is not that important, frankly speaking. Now, you could say, just get an amulet with shrine buff duration, and I tried. I spent 300 million gold, that was all my gold, and my fiend roses to reroll. I did not get a single time shrine buff duration on the amulet. I got new boots though. That was quite fantastic, and that's a bit sad now, because I want to play the leaderboard, but I need shrine buff duration, so I would have to do other content to play the leaderboard. But I only logged in to actually grind for my ranks and have some fun. So my personal skill here does not matter in any capacity at all until I find that one affix. And this is definitely going to deter a lot of players from even trying. Second thing that was promised and is severely lacking right now is the spectate feature, because you should be looking at their profiles. But yeah, now you could say it's okay that they have the right to hide their profile, but at least make a snapshot of what they had at the moment and put it online. I mean, it's the number one on the leaderboard. I'm really interested. I would like to see, but I simply can't. That's stupid. And especially, this is just a momentary snapshot. Okay, so I can look at Vega's profile, but who says he's actually been playing Blood Surge? Because he could have just put on these items and these skills, but he's actually playing a Bone Spear Necro to achieve this score. So this is a snapshot of what he had at that moment. This is not necessarily what he has been using in the dungeon to get the score, which makes this whole leaderboard lookup useless and then useless again. Now, I do have to say, I like the overlay in general. I mean, you can look up the leaderboards very easy. You can view your personal achievements in every leaderboard and just see where it's going. And you can just start from here right into the Gauntlet. Now, I generally like the Gauntlet map design-wise. It has two loops that you could go through, but the bottom right seems a bit lacking, especially this room. It's a boss room. Boss room, boss room, boss room. There's no boss in there. There's generally a lack of minions in this area. Might be intentional, like don't go there, but it just seems a bit, they forgot it, honestly. There is as well not a single shrine to revive everything in the bottom right. So either you do the circle in the beginning, then revive and do the circle again. And well, there is the locked chests down here. Generally speaking, for a first version, this is interesting. For a second version, I would wish for myself maybe twice the size. So there is actually a route A and a route B, because right now there is more or less just that one thing where, depending on your class and your movement speed, you finish one circuit, then you go circle, revive, circle, revive, circle, revive. It would be fun if you actually had to choose, because the Gauntlet was advertised as this thing where you have multiple ways to go through the dungeon, and you kind of have to choose if you go door A, B, or C, then you run through A, B, or C really quick. This is how it always sounded when they announced it. Right now there's door A and that's it, right? I would like it if there was door A like this, and then there was door B with a second adjacent dungeon, and you have to essentially choose which one of them can you run faster, or if it was twice the size of this, and there's actually a bit more variety, right? There's the 800,000 point path, then there's the million point path, but maybe both paths are equally good, but they just work for a certain class better and for the other class not. When just a bit more variety, a bit more figuring out. Right now with this size of the gauntlet, if it stays this size, it takes 1 to 2 days, let's say 8 to 14 hours to find an optimal route, and you solve the puzzle and you're kind of done. And that's how I treat the gauntlet right now. I don't really treat it as a speed running competition here to get through as fast as possible, right? It's more like there's something to understand. There's a puzzle to figure out. Do you just mindlessly rush in? Do you just zoom fast and move hard? Or do you, for example, pull the boss like this and then go to the other guys and try to pull 3 bosses in the beginning together to kind of maximize the points you can get from a shrine? And like, is that the existing strategy? And it's a ginormous puzzle for you to make sense of, for you to find out. And there is a various amount of strategies. I mean, right now we pulled this together, right? Kill everyone with corpse explosions. Then we have these bosses happening. You kill them, you get your Shrine of Arcane Destruction, and this is why I'm saying no shrine buff duration. And now my damage actually doesn't matter anymore, because the damage is now the shrine, right? So the damage from this point on is just my shrine that's happening. Then you can revive, right? Use your shrine even more. And if you have that double point shrine, right, you want to keep it as long as possible. This same goes actually for the artillery shrine and so on. Right? That's what you want to keep now, as prolonged as you can. And then now like begins obviously this rotation part of the thing where you just keep rotating. But again, where do we go now, right? Is it do I go now here? Right? Do I go this route? Do I use my supreme movement speed to move past this? But again, like, this is not my damage, right? The damage when I do my blood mist, but look at the damage that the artillery shrine does. So I just want the artillery shrine as humanly often up as possible. I don't even use my skills, right? I'm not even using my bone storm. I'm not using my corpse explosions, my anything. I'm just artillery shrining. Now, generally from an equipment standpoint, with normal uniques, you can get relatively fast. Yes, there's one uber unique, and it's actually the Ring of Starless Skies, which is so broken that it's just in almost every single build. That one is a no-brainer, almost a must-have if you want to get anywhere high in the leaderboard. I've not seen any top 10 or even top 50 that's not having the Ring of Starless Skies. I managed in the first day top 3 without a single uber unique. I think top 100 without a single uber unique is absolutely possible. But without that ring to really get into a meaningful position, then it won't be happening. And that's the nature of leaderboards, though. You gotta have the best of the best of the best equipment. I do think this is a nice feature for the game right now. It is good for people that are playing the game and they just want to try out how good they could be. It is nothing to bind players, though, for hours and hours and days and days and days. It's also not going to make anyone return, and that's okay. It doesn't have to make anyone return. This is a feature for existing players. Existing players matter. There's hundreds of thousands of players playing this game daily. They want patches too, as not only the casuals, also the tryhards, not only the people that don't play the game and want to return. No, not only these deserve patches. The players that are playing every day, they want something too. And the leaderboards are that something. You might not like it, and that's completely fine. It is now a fixed part of the game, and it will stay with the game. So interact with it if you want to. Don't interact with it if you don't want to. The good thing is it will be in next season, probably from the beginning. So from the beginning, we know that we need shrine buff duration, because right now the worst part was it started too late. I disenchanted hundreds, thousands, 10,000 shrine buff duration items while I should have gotten them. I probably destroyed the perfect amulet, the perfect boots so many times over. And now in the mid-season, I get to find out you needed these items. You know what? That feels bad. I'm annoyed. I'm pissed. I don't like it. Now, as a final note from a content creator standpoint, there is 1.4k viewers right now in the Diablo category. And that's because no one wants to watch the Gauntlet. The Gauntlet is fun to watch to a degree, but it is always the same dungeon, always the same route, and someone just trying to somewhat perform a little bit better. That doesn't make for good, engaging, fun content. There's no storytelling, there's no exciting items dropping, there's no maybe an uber unique from Duriel, nothing. Once you've seen the build, once you've figured out what the player does, once you've seen he has 8 uber uniques and you don't have a single one of them, I mean, every week, 1-2 days, new Gauntlet, fun, and then whoop, gone again. Until season 4, essentially, until the beta comes for new exciting content right now. What do you think? What is your opinion? How are you enjoying the Gauntlet? Drop it in the comments below. Let's gather feedback so they can make and improve the Gauntlet in the future, because this is only the first map. There's more maps coming, maybe maps without shrines, maps with different shrines. Things are fluid and things can change. Now, I did recently try Blood Surge in the Gauntlet and also a very much even more improved Bone Spear. Check it out.